There we go, guys. And if you are joining us for the stream tonight, thank you very much for joining. It is very exciting. It is our first recap show for season 2. And we did our first one at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night as well. So I guess now if we do the first one again at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, it has now become tradition to do our first show of the season on a Saturday night at 9, I guess. So with me, I've got a couple of people as always. Slash, what's up?
All good, Yaku. Nice to be here, and yeah, it's a bit better than 9 in the morning.
Yeah, not as early as a Saturday morning. we've got Bokes as well, our local interrogator. Bokes.
Yes.
Like how are you? Good. We've got Riplets here as well. Rips, how are you doing, buddy?
For once, I'm actually wide awake.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, almost bedtime.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think we might have Scully online as well. Now, before season 1 started, we called Scully the trucker. And then in season 1, we changed that to the cowboy. And then he said he wanted something else for season 3, or for season 2. So now tonight it will be the Terminator, Scully Rebel, joining us as well. Scully, I don't know if you can talk yet, or if you still, I think he might still be a little bit incapacitated, so he will join us shortly.
I've just been medicated and I'm ready to roll.
Right. So you know that I've just dubbed you the Terminator now for season 2, right? And that's better than the cowboy.
The cowboy and the truck driver has gone their merry way now. So who am I now?
You're the
Terminator.
The Terminator.
Oh, lekker one.
I think MSMK calls you something else.
Wat het hulle my geroep?
Nee, this is a PG show.
Ja, maar it's not. It's already late at night, man. The kids are gone to bed. Wat het hulle my geroep, Nico?
Nee, ek kan nie so goed sê nie.
Het hulle gesê ek is 'n nana.
Yes. Maar is nie ver af nie, so.
Oh, well. Kom maar met die territory.
Yeah.
All good. Right, guys.
Yeah.
So an exciting week for week 1. Obviously, you know it's the start of a new season. I can't believe we're starting on a new season of Clan Wars already. It's exciting times. Of course, this season we have both the T12 Premier League as well as the T5 running. And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about about those 2 game modes, and especially around the rules a little bit, which is why we're privileged enough to have Bokes, who can never make a Saturday morning. We're privileged enough to have him tonight to talk to us a little bit about the rules and some things that he's seen this week. Obviously, guys, you know that we've been, I don't want to say we've been, but we did act a little bit leniently now in week 1, especially around the fixture setting and things for the first week, because obviously it's new to everyone and we're trying to get everybody back on board in terms of timing and organizing and all of that sort of stuff. But Bokes is also going to talk a little bit about the yellow card system, and when we get to the divisions, we'll show you some examples of what a yellow card looks like if a team has received one. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So that's on the cards. But I think before we get into any of that, there's a couple of things that I just want to mention about season 2 specifically. Guys, at the moment, obviously, you know that, and we'll probably in this coming week, we'll do some promo videos and things that you guys can see that as well. But as you know, we are close to about 60 teams at the moment. So I think that is a phenomenal response that we got from the community. So thank you very much for that. With 60 teams in a league, though, it does become, labor intensive from an admin perspective. So please bear with us when it comes to admin, submitting the fixtures, the scores, that sort of things. Let's try and stick to that if we can. And then I also just want to mention that with the amount of games being played on a weekly basis, obviously, we would like to bring as much of this gameplay to the community as possible. We do have a substantial team of streamers already. Some guys that have drifted over from season 2, and we've from season 1, and we've managed to add some new stream teams for season 2 already. Some guys from SSH and also from VTRN. But I would like to invite people watching the stream, if you have a dedicated stream team, if you want to set up a dedicated stream team, please get in contact with me. We are obviously looking for as many people as we can to become part of the Clan Wars dedicated stream teams, so that we can see how many of these games we can actually get out, to the audience and to the community to watch them. I think it's great to watch. It's pretty much what I'm watching these days on TV. So when I do actually switch on the TV, I end up watching a game, some game that someone has streamed. So, but if there are more people out there that want to do it and want to start their own streaming thing, please get in touch, and we can see how we can help to get you not only streaming but also get you the necessary exposure. Yep. So, gents, from the guys that are on the team tonight, a lot of things happening this week, a lot of interesting things, games played, people uncertain about certain things, some interesting stuff happening around a very early withdrawal of a specific team. What's your take on week 1? Let's start there by Rebel.
I think it was an exciting week. I think the guys are still a bit new within the Rush environment. Some of the teams, because usually when they play on public servers, they will play Conquest or Domination and so on. And for some teams, the Rush is definitely a bit new. We know the rules are a bit different, and the game style and the gameplay and your approach to the whole game mode is a bit different. There's a few messages that I got on the side where the guys said they didn't even know what happened. It was over so quickly, that kind of thing. And they were doubtful of if it was only going to be Rush or are we going to put in, Conquest as well. But obviously the whole season will be Rush. But all in all, I think we started off well. Everybody, or the majority of the guys, got their fixtures up and running quickly. And the reporting of the scores and so on. We did have some hiccups here and there, but I would say we like 95% there. So all in all, a good start for season 2.
Absolutely. Bakes, from your side?
Ek dink hy voer die hond daar.
Let's give Bakes a second. Slash, from your side?
Yeah, he had a change of heart there, so he's talking dog or something. I think it's there's for everybody or a lot of people it's new for T5 as well. So but I think it went quite well. It didn't go too badly, and we gave everybody a pass on the first week. So in week 2 we up and running. So everybody must just jump in and assist where they can. Yeah, and enjoy.
Absolutely. Bugs, are you ready?
Yeah. Ek is seker af van nou Boutjies. He's busy with his recruiting already, and he's just giving himself away because it seems like he's recruited Straatbraak Coalitie.
Oh goodness.
I think he might be handling something there on his side. Riplets?
Yeah. He's saying here on Discord he's going to be back now, so let's give him a sec.
Okay. Rips, from your side?
From my side, interesting week. Couple of strong games that happened this week already. Very, very interesting chats going on the Discord channel. And I unfortunately haven't caught up on any of the streams lately. But it's a very busy season this season, especially with teams who are entered with the T12 as well as the Premier League and the T5 series. And these teams are literally almost stretched throughout the week. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope with the next 9 weeks coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I also think that's going to be an interesting thing because some of the guys have got up to 3 teams playing in 1 week. So it's a hell of a commitment on their side. So hats off to them and good luck.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the teams when we get to the table, but obviously there's been a slight early withdrawal from one of the teams, and that is one of the teams that played in the Division 3 for the Premier League called Falcon. So of course, as you guys know, if there's any teams that withdraw during the season or whatever may be the case, it's not that we take them off the tables. It's just that the teams that will play against them in whichever week will simply get the win or get the 3 points. I think it's a little bit, this season, a little bit more negative if a team actually withdraws, because, in the case of Falcon, for example, who should have played SBK or Strad Brak Coalitie this week, SBK actually got the 3 points, but the way it works with Rush, and we'll talk to Bokes a little bit later on when we talk about the rules, but with Rush, the way it works is if you manage to destroy all the MCOMs, you actually get a bonus point. So you can be in a position where you actually get 4 points instead of just the 3, whereas you will only get the 3 points when you face off against a team that has withdrawn. So unlucky from that perspective, but it's better for us that the guys are open and honest and say, look, we can't commit to games right now or whatever may be the case. But of course, always sad to see. Still on the upside of that. I mean, as I said, close to 60 teams at the moment. So our hands full with admin, yeah.
Tell me about it.
Bokes, are you back yet? Nope, not yet. All right, Bokes. I know that Bokes had something to do that he had to do there, so he will be joining us again shortly, but not back yet. All right. So, guys, from a team perspective, I mean, as Scully mentioned, there are some teams that they play. There's or some clans, should I say, that have 3 teams in the tournament at the moment. So obviously it's a little bit hectic, from a playing perspective in terms of organizing, training sessions and games, and then splitting your games between T5 and T12 and, that sort of thing. And Rippets, you alluded to the fact that, you're struggling to catch up on actually watching some of these streams because you guys are either practicing or playing or whatever may be the case. From that perspective, just as an indication, how much time do you guys generally put into sort of training on a weekly basis if you're not playing?
Well, this week alone, Monday night we had a bit of an internal clan competition going on just to get our guys ready to make sure that we've got the strategies down for our first, for Royal's first ever 12v12 league game against ITF this week. So we literally went and practiced on pub servers, climbed into our own server, ran around the map, figured out a few spots, and I think we climbed off we were on between Hoppers 6 to Hoppers 10. Tuesday nights we were online doing warm-ups. We were offline just after Hoppers 10 again. Wednesday nights we actually had a scrim with our second team versus ITF's 5v4. But the rest of the squad was on pub servers, working on communication. Then another game on Thursday. Last night we had a very long practice that most guys only climbed off at about 1 this morning. And again today the guys were on practicing. And I got a message from one of my dudes earlier, one of my players earlier on saying, listen, he needs some family time, so can we skip practice on Sunday? And so it shows that there's a lot of dedication, not just from my team, the amount of friendlies that are trying to be organized so guys can just keep practicing, getting better. And I know we're not the only ones that are struggling with actual time to be able to sit down, relax. For instance, I know Mad are up and down completely with friendlies and matches. So, and we've only got one T5 team playing, so it's quite difficult trying to organize your weekend as well as having a relaxing night with your family.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 weeks of proper dedication, isn't it?
Yes, for the 12v12, it's 10 weeks if I'm not mistaken, and then I think with the T5 we've got
12 weeks.
9 weeks. 12 weeks. So it's actually 12 weeks in total. We've got guys who are literally going to be hanging by a thread by that last week from being tired and all the practicing and the games.
But I guess
it's going to be interesting.
But I guess the reason why I was asking the question is, the thing that I wanted to bring up, talking about, teams and dedication and the way that they play. And again, we'll touch on the yellow card system. But, what we, from an organizer perspective, I mean, in the first season, it was all about just understanding, how we run a season like this, right? And then obviously as we progress through the seasons, you want to progress the game or the community as a whole. And it's also important to not only, I mean, a good team is a good team and they play the game well, but that's not necessarily what makes a great team, right? I mean, a great team is the guys who can also follow the rules, who can stick out the season, who can, see it through to the end, right? And of course, in doing so, doing all of that with good sportsmanship as well. So, it is dedication. It is, it is putting in the work, which is why at the end of the season, when you hook it through, then, it pays off, right? I mean, you feel like you've achieved and you've put in the work, and you can claim whatever position you have, on the league standings.
Yeah.
Let's check quickly if Bokes is back. Bokes, are you back, buddy? Not yet.
Nope. Still barking in the background.
No, I think there might have been an unforeseen visitor at Bokes' place. Let's see when he comes back. Right, guys, what I wanted to do then is I actually wanted to move over to the rules now, but with Bokes being a little bit indisposed, what I will do is I'll go to the tables and we can talk about the teams now, and we'll leave the rules towards the end, but we will touch on one or two rules as we go through the tables, and you'll obviously see the reasons for that. So, as we move on, of course, if you are joining us on the stream right now, we are about to go into the tables and looking at some of the results. If you don't know where to find that by now, that is on www.bfclanwars.net, and you will find the website there. There is some revamps. So if you are opening it now and looking at it, we have revamped a couple of things on the website. And I just wanted to touch on a few navigational issues before we go to the tables. So the first thing that you will notice there is that we have the dedicated PS4 section with the Premier League and T5 series menus underneath that. Then you also have an Xbox button there, and the Xbox guys will actually be kicking off their Clan War season on the 19th. Am I correct, Scully?
Yeah, that's correct. They asked for an extension due to the fact that some of the teams are still busy with a domination tournament.
All right, excellent. And if you guys, for whatever reason, want to follow along and see how the Xbox guys are doing, that is where you will find their section. Then, of course, we have the event list there as always. We have the team menus there. When you have a moment, go and check out the team menus. Those have all been updated with last season's rewards. It's also been updated with all of the new teams that partake in both T5 and the Premier League Clan Wars for Season 2. If you don't know where to find the rules, I'm very worried, but that is where you find the rules. And you'll see the rules are now split into general and game mode. So guys, please don't forget to read the general rules. The general rules are applicable across any game mode that you play. So that is what it is. It's the general rules for any competition or any league run by us as part of Clan Wars. And then of course there is game mode specific rules, Conquest Rush, Domination Frontlines and Incursions when they come on board, that you will find over there. Of course the past events, if you're interested to look back and see what happened in Season 1, that is where you will find that information. And then lastly, if you look at the PS4 menu and you hover over the Premier League, you will see that they have tables, fixtures and results, and that is where you will find of course the tables, fixtures and results for the individual information. So let's move on first to the tables for the T12 for Clan War Season 2, and we are looking at Division 1. So Division 1 is quite interesting. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, AOV has dropped out for this season, so they're not partaking in Season 1. So the teams there in Division 1, DPS, MAD, LGD, LOTS, MRU, Red, DI and SNAZ. And at the moment, the two teams with the highest points after week 1, and they've both got 4 points, is DPS and MAD. And in case you're wondering why they have 4, is of course, as I mentioned earlier, that within Rush, if you manage to take out all the MCOMs during a particular game, you actually get a bonus point for doing that. So instead of getting just 3 for the win, you get the extra bonus point. So that's why those two teams, DPS and MAD, are on 4 at the moment. LGD on 3, as well as Lots. That's Lots with the S, which is their Lots first team. MRU and Red on 1, and then DI and Snaz on 0 at the moment. And then you see 2 interesting icons there. The one icon is a little banana peel, or a little banana there. And that has absolutely nothing to do with MSNK, by the way. And the other icon, it has nothing to do with MSNK, by the way.
Who says that they were not the motivation for the thinking behind that?
You've got to monkey around sometimes.
Were they the motivation, Scully?
No.
No, I didn't say anything.
And then, of course, we've got the little yellow triangle shield there. And guys, what those icons represent is actually yellow cards. The little triangle will represent a yellow card received in the T12. And the little banana peel, interestingly enough, will represent the yellow card received in the T5. So if you see a little banana next to your name, it's not because you are a banana. It is because you received the yellow card in the T5. That's what the two little icons mean. Yeah, Rupert?
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you've got the banana next to your name, you definitely are.
Yeah. Try not get 3 of them.
Yeah.
But let me just make sure I don't have one.
So
Yeah.
Don't slip on that banana.
No. So guys, as you know, the yellow card system, we did go through a brief explanation of it at the end of season 1 when we gave you guys a heads up on what is coming. Basically, these yellow cards, they were not given for infringements in a game. Both these teams actually did not, as you know, the cutoff date to submit fixtures was yesterday. And by close of yesterday, there were some teams that had yet to submit their fixtures for the week, and that is why they got issued a yellow card. 3 yellow cards is an infringement, and on the 4th infringement, you will actually receive a red card, and a red card will equal -3 points on the table. So there is no points deducted for a yellow card at this point. In fact, not for yellow card 1, 2, or 3. It's only on the 4th infringement when you get your red card. You will 3 points will be deducted from your team on the table, and the reason why
5 points. 5.
Sorry, 5 points. My apologies. And the reason for the banana and the triangle is so that we can know which infringement is which. So if you've got a team that infringed in the T5, it must be deducted from that table. If it's a team that infringed on the T12 or the Premier, the 5-point deduction will be from that particular table. So it's just also to keep track on where you get your infringements from. And of course, then on the Discord channel, you would have noticed that there is a new channel that was added as from today called Infringement Log. And that is actually where you can see the yellow cards and for what they have been issued. And they will stay there. So it's going to be call it a database if you want for the season, so that you can track exactly if you have a yellow card or not. But if you are looking at the website and at these tables, those little icons next to the to the team names will be a good indicator on whether you've received the yellow card or not. Now, Slash, I know you work a lot on the updating of both the scores as well as these yellow cards and that sort of thing. And you actually mentioned to me, and I do have to agree with you, that I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised that the majority of the teams, though, managed to get their fixtures and things logged in, right?
Yeah, so most of the guys did come to the party. This is not something that we like to give to anybody. We would love that there is none of these next to anybody's name. But I think the first week we let it slide. We let everybody get into the game modes, and we're into the second week now. So we had to add on. But as you rightly said, most of the guys did add their fixtures, and there's also a lot of guys that actually pre-plan 2 weeks in advance. So you don't have to wait and only plan for your first week, you can speak to the teams already and plan your second and third and fourth week if you really can, and it is possible to plan that far in advance.
Yeah, Scully, you actually mentioned as well that on Discord you added a number of weeks ahead of time, just specifically for that purpose, so that the guys can actually go and plan their fixtures out ahead, right?
Correct. Yeah, we felt that it's makes it easier for the planning of these games if the guys can see when they're playing who. And for the 12v12 and the T5, we've actually listed everything right to the end of the season. So the 11 weeks, for the I think the 11 weeks for the T5 or 12 weeks are there. So they can see well in advance, to organize these games and get everything nicely sorted, so we've got the T5 and the 12v12. You can even see that when you do your planning that you don't have games overlapping, within a certain week. Some of the guys have got a lot of teams in there, but it is available, so everything is there. You just need to go and have a look at it, do your planning, block your fixtures, avoid the banana.
And again, guys, I mean, as Slash said, it's not something that we it's not something that we like giving, but as these things grow, you can understand that with 60 teams in the league, the admin is there's a lot of admin, a lot of work that sits behind, keeping track, keeping score, updating the website and all of that sort of stuff. So the yellow card is just a system to help incentivize the remembrance of good behavior, I think is the right word to use.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great. So guys, I don't know if there's anybody that wants to mention anything specifically about any of these teams within Division 1, something interesting that they saw on a stream this week, or one of the interesting games that was played. Yep. No. All right. So what we'll do is we'll move on to Division 2 then.
I've got to just say, Yaki, you've got a lot of fans here on YouTube. They all want to say hello to you.
All right. Yeah. Hello, guys. What's up? Slash didn't give me specific names, so I'll just say a general hello.
From actually speaking about the YouTube chat show, we've actually got a question here regarding LGD. Yes, LGD might have destroyed all NCOMs on one map, but they will not receive the bonus points unless they've destroyed all NCOMs on both maps. So you need to destroy all NCOMs on map 1 and map 2 to receive the bonus points.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, of course, guys, that I know I've moved on to the Division 2 table, so if you give me a second, let me just move back to the Division 1 table when we talk about that question. You can see that LGD indeed does have 3 points, whereas DPS and MAD have 4. The bonus point there is something that we specifically added. If you recall in Season 1, what happened is that when we got to the end of the season, there was literally some of these teams that were split by 1 or maybe 2 points. And with Rush, because of the way the game mode works slightly differently, we wanted to give an opportunity to teams to sort of gain that little bit of extra point, to either stay in the running or move up 1 or 2 positions or whatever may be the case. So that was Boakes' brainchild, actually, the bonus point for destroying all the MCOMs. And that's of course where those 4 points come from, and that's of course why LGD has the 3 and DPS and MAD have the 4 points. So to answer that question, I hope that makes sense to everyone. Any other interesting questions or comments on the stream while we're talking about the stream chat and people watching?
No, just the amount of fans you have, and just I'm thinking J Josh is probably your biggest fan on this chat right now.
Good. How's it, Josh?
I think I've just got to say hello to one of my teammates who's watching the stream, Mr. Q. I left the previous member of ITF. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yep. Sorry guys, I think Boakes here is struggling a little bit. Let's just hear if he's managed to come back on. Okay, there we go. So moving on then to Division 2. I just want to see if I can get through to him here. Sorry guys, I just want to see if I can remove Bogues there. There we go. So, all right, so looking at Division 2 then, we've got the 4Q SNLV, who's both in the first and second position, again, both with their 4 points each, destroying all the MCOMs. SNLV, unfortunately, also getting a yellow card there this week. So Kabir will be submitting his fixtures first thing in the morning if he's not already done so, I'm sure. then we've got First and PF both on 3 points. We've got THC they're on, interestingly, on 1 point. And then we've got Raw, VTRN and WTF, who unfortunately played this week and got the bad end of the map, and they're on 0 still at the moment. So I think the team here for me to to sort of watch at the moment. First of all, I think it's 4Q. I think these guys have a very, very good opportunity here in Division 2 to come out on top. But I think the team that impressed me this week must be SNLV. I mean, the game, I managed to get some feedback from their game, and apparently the guys had an exceptionally good game. And if I look at the score, it does look that way, with them scoring the 4 points. And then obviously, First is a division contender, right? So those guys are always up for a strong and good game, and of course so is PF. After week 1, it's very difficult to say, because in week 1 you never know who you play. Everybody's still getting used to the game modes and the way to play and that sort of thing. So I think week 1 is pretty much the introduction to the game, and I think we're going to see a lot of these teams swap out on the table as we go along, as people get used to the game mode and get used to how the rules work and that sort of thing. I don't know what your views are, Slash.
Yeah, no, definitely. For me as well, I think First and PF, they might be sitting in 3rd and 4th spot. But if we looked at what now they played in last season, I definitely think they're contenders to see some movement on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think from that perspective, I think there's a lot of teams in this division that I would like to watch, as with Division 1. A lot of movement happening there as well. So I think some good games coming up here as well. Yep.
Yeah, should be quite an interesting season for them.
Yep. And then, guys, I think the big division here is Division 3, right? I mean, I have to struggle to get everybody into the screen, but there we go. We've got the 12 teams over there. And they start from Lots, and that's, of course, Lots with a Z, which is effectively Lots' second team. S, of course, being the one, Lots with an S, the one which is their first team. We've got MSNK there. Then Royal, you guys are up there as well. We've got... and of course, those are the 3 teams with the 4 points that managed to destroy all the MCOMs in their first games.
There's a 4th team. There's a 4th team, SBK.
Okay, so let me just check here. Did they also destroy all the MCOMs?
I'm busy looking at the log now.
Okay, well,
who are we talking about?
SBK.
Yeah, they destroyed all MCOMs.
Okay,
down
so
4 points as well.
All right, so we will have to make that adjustment because at the moment we only have
SPK. No, SPK had a bye, so SPK only gets the 3 points against. Didn't they play against?
Oh, you're right. And we just talked about that in the beginning of the show, right? That's correct. That's the reason for them getting only the 3 points, because they had the bye on Falcon, who withdrew.
But I did make a mistake. PF and WTF should actually have 1 point. So Riplets let me know on that just now. So that was my finger finger error. So if you actually go back to that and you update it, you'll see
All right.
it's been fixed.
Oh, have you already fixed it?
I fixed it online now.
Look
You
at
see, we never stop working.
Look at that.
Never stop working.
That's
No,
amazing.
we have to fix it. Yeah, we have to fix it. WTF deserves the 1 point, so it's on.
Okay.
My bad.
All right, so let's look at that. That is amazing. Online fixing. All right, so let's start at the top then. Lots, MSNK and Royal on the 4 points there. Then we've got GSE and Raki as well as SBK on 3 points. We've got CTK and Snot on 1. Of course, Snot also there with Little Banana for their yellow card in the T5. And then we've got Falcon who has withdrawn. ITF, Raw2 and SOA who is Sons of Anarchy. Now, I must tell you that, I mean, again, you know, this is week 1, so it depends on who you're playing and this and that, but I know that there's been a lot of talk around MSNK and around Lots and Rekka and some of the new guys coming in. And I've seen, you know, Sons of Anarchy. I mean, I've played against these guys a little bit. They're actually very good. And of course, we've got Raw 2 there as well. So, I mean, there's you know, week 1 again. I mean, there's going to be some movement in this table. I think I've got a couple of you know, bets down on some of these teams to see where they end up in Division 3. I think Division 3 for me is interesting because of the amount of teams that they are playing. I mean, this is some real competitors, and I mean, of course, we do have well-known strong teams. You know, in Division 3, I mean, I'm calling out specifically, you know, MSNK and a team like Snot that has been around for, and Rekka as well, actually, that have been around for, you know, quite some time. But because it's their first season that they are playing within Clan Wars, they are in Division 3 and, you know, playing some of the newer teams that have, you know, made a name for themselves, like Royal, like Raw, like ITF. And then, of course, there's some, you know, some very, very new guys, Sons of Anarchy, you know, ITF, GSE are some of the guys that are very new and that I don't know very well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Division 3 turns out like. Yep.
Yeah, I think also the first week playing Rush, a lot of people obviously haven't practiced this and haven't played this, so nerves will be sky high playing against other teams. But I think in second and third week, people will get to know the mode, and we should see some good games coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so guys, what I would like to do is I just want to give Slash and Riplets maybe an opportunity to you know, chat about some of the things that you guys have heard while I pull up the other tables here. You know, during the week, obviously you've engaged with people, and you know, we've talked about you know, some of the rules and some of the things that have, you know, either gone right or wrong. So let me just give you an opportunity to highlight one or two of those, especially within the Rush side, before we move on to T5.
Yeah, so from my side, just to assist Slash here with results, submitting results, we found that this week a lot of guys struggled posting the Rush results, because people don't realize that Rush is not map-based. Rush is actually determined on the amount of MCOMs you have destroyed throughout both maps. So if a team has destroyed 3 MCOMs on the one map and 2 MCOMs on the other map, the score for that team for that fixture is only 5. So when you post the score, you'll need to post it with the total amount of MCOMs destroyed per side.
Yeah.
So that was one of the major things I noticed this week. And then the other thing is people were confused with the map setup and the way that the maps are supposed to be run, and people didn't understand the reason why we put the tiebreaker as map 1, which is actually meant to be so you guys could do all the admin work. So as soon as the Rush game starts, you guys can spawn in and just go for it. Yeah. That's why we actually put the tiebreaker map in as map 1, so you guys could do all your admin and get everything going. So when the actual fixture starts, you guys can spawn in and go for it.
Yeah. So, Bokes, I think you've joined us back, and you've joined us back at a great time.
Sorry, jeez, I had a guy hooting outside my house. He got stuck in the mud, so I had to get him out. And then afterwards, I left my car key on his bucky's bonnet or the cap or anything, and he left, so I couldn't get into the house. So I had to run after him, get my house keys.
That was now being a good Samaritan and getting into trouble for being a good Samaritan.
Yeah, jeez,
All right.
Okay, where are we?
So Bugs, we just finished the tables on the Premier League, and what I wanted to do was just talk about the Premier League specifically around the rules, and some of the things the guys have been asking and getting wrong and getting confused with before we move on to the T5 tables. So
okay.
So we just spoke about one or two, but you actually as the league coordinator, you're actually probably the person that sees the most questions around the rules and things come out. So I want to give you an opportunity to highlight where some of the problem areas is, and maybe then just talk the guys through properly what the rule actually means, whatever they've misunderstood.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue we have is not really the rules and stuff. It's basic. The guys read it, they know what to use, what don't. What they can use, what they can't use. So I think the biggest thing is the match scoring system for the Rush. I don't know if you guys talked about it yet or not.
Well, Rippert's touched on it a little bit, but if you want to talk through it, that's good.
Okay, the guys must understand it's not map-based. A game consists of both the maps. So if you win one map, it doesn't count as a map win. You just continue to the second map. It's MCOM based. So the guy who destroys the most MCOMs on both maps wins the game.
Correct.
So you can actually lose the first map and still win the game in two maps if you destroy more MCOMs than the first team did overall on the two maps.
Correct. And then the score is still reported, as 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever may be the case. Correct.
No, that's the thing. The guys must, if they log the scores for Rush, they must log in how many MCOMs destroyed. So, for instance, they destroyed 2-1 the first map and 5-1 the second map. The end result will be 7-2.
Yes.
So you log in 7-2.
Okay.
And then we'll do the update on the logs. And then if the guys destroy all the MCOMs on both maps, not just on one, on both maps, then the winning team, or obviously they're going to be the winning team, will get a extra bonus point.
Correct.
If they fail to do all the MCOMs, the losing team gets a losing bonus point, if you can say it like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the idea behind that is to make the scoring interesting, to sort of tie up the teams a little bit closer as well, right?
Yes, yeah, no, definitely.
Excellent. Then, Bugs, besides the scoring, I personally didn't see, a lot of, other questions. I think the guys are getting pretty used to understanding DLCs and what DLC means and no DLC weapons. But maybe just something that I wanted to highlight is I had an interesting question. Somebody was asking me, is the Saint Gamont a DLC because it's a tank but not a weapon?
Yeah, no, it's all DLC, everything.
Absolutely. So to make it clear, guys, is that what we mean with the DLCs is all DLCs, inclusive of, the tanks that are DLC or whatever may be the case. And in the same way, there's a specific rule that says no gas, and I think it actually says in brackets, no gas anywhere, which means that precludes all gas equipment, whether it's a grenade,
even if it's under the gadgets thing, it's no gas anywhere ever.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So no gas anywhere ever. That sounds like something.
So don't even fart when you run.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then another thing, like the DLC, what guys must understand, some of the rules, there is grey areas and shit like that. But just don't be a doers, guys. If a guy kills you with a melee DLC weapon, don't come and try and call the game. It's not. The biggest thing is, was it fair or not? You're not going to lose the game because the guy killed you with the DLC immediately with it.
Plus, I stand under the correction, but even in season 1, we rated the
allowed
DLC.
it.
Yeah, because I mean it's just the skin, right? I mean it's not. There's no weapon advantage or anything like that. And that's sometimes something that the guys don't understand, right? Is that the rules are not there to cripple you in any sort of way. It's there to make it as fair as possible for both teams, right? So I mean that's what it's about. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, Nicky, anything else about the rules before we go on to the T5 tables?
I don't know if anybody in the comment section had questions or anything. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Slash, can you...
No, I think all of it was addressed, so there was only the one question.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think that's it then.
Excellent. So moving on then to the T5 tables. Guys, just from a navigation perspective, where you can find this is under the PS4 section. You will see that there will be T5, and then you can of course find the fixtures and the results there as well. But if you click on the T5, it will bring up all the T5 tables over there. And the interesting thing is at the top you will see all the teams listed out, number 1 right down to number, let's go all the way down, right down 39. To number 39. And those are all the teams in one table. But as you know, with the T5 series, the way that we play this is it's actually pool-based. So with T5, there will definitely be semis and finals.
It's Group 1 and 2 against each other in the semis, and Groups 3 and 4 against each other in the semis.
Correct. And that will, of course, happen post the games that you guys have the set fixtures on at the moment. So if you look at the T5 fixture log as it stands, the semis and the finals, of course, are not listed within that because it will come after that, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, so looking at Pool 1, T5, we've got a couple of teams there on 3 points each. That is AOV, XM, DI, LGD Phase, Royal, and UB. They are all on 3 points after their first game. And then we have DPS Silver, GSG, Headhunters, which is of course another Raw T5 team, MDK and VTRN. Now in this pool, I managed to actually watch the GSG game, and from what I understand, sorry, I didn't watch the entire game, I watched a part of it, but from what I understand, the GSG game, the girls actually came in with guns blazing. Nico, I know you watched that as well.
Yeah, no, that was quite an awesome game to watch.
Yeah.
First map was very close, yeah. I think they played DI, They played DI.
Indeed, they did play DI, and it was very, very close, especially on the first map. So well done to the girls team there. I heard that the guns were blazing over there. Again, very early. It's week 1, but this is definitely an interesting pool to watch. I don't know if anybody wants to put their head on a block and call maybe the first 2 or 3 teams here in Pool 1. Nico, I know that you will probably.
Gig.
Yeah. Yes, I had to look for a second. I was watching this table. I was going, but did I call out Gig? Okay, good call out. Yes, I think Gig will win Pool 1 as well.
No, seriously, let me just check. Who's Pool 1?
So that's AOV, XM, DI, LGD Phase, Royal, UB, DPS Silver, GSG, Headhunters, MDK, and VTRN.
Should be between the LGD and the AOV boys.
Yep. I think DI putting up a good fight though.
Whoa.
Yes,
hold on. Whoa.
Here's Royal over here.
That's what I just wanted to say. That's the thing what I like about the T5. I'm actually more excited for the T5 than the Rush. Is the T5, even the smaller clans will actually do better in this format because they don't have the depth as the other teams, but they have their top 5 solid players, if you can say it like that. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I must be honest with you, I'm not going to call out anybody specifically because I think, and the reason for that is for exactly that reason that you've mentioned now, right? Because if you look at something like Rush or Conquest, and you look at a team like LGD or AOV, there's a lot of depth, in those teams, even Mad.
Yes.
And when it comes to T5, you lose that depth, and you have to rely on 5 guys making it work, and that could cause a couple of upsets, I think.
Definitely, that's what I say. The smaller teams will have good T5 teams.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. I think there's going to be a few upsets.
Yep, definitely as well.
Definitely.
Right, moving on.
I just didn't say Royal because next season they'll all be part of Mad.
Oh, okay. I see how it's going.
Well, Nicky,
Listen,
you are our top recruiter, man.
let me just say this. Just warn Cookie. His contract's on his way to him.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Right, Pool 2, guys.
Yeah.
So Pool 2 here we have first AOV C-Max, interesting name, CTK and Sons of Anarchy all on 3 points. Then DPS Gold, MRUs, MSNK Sultry Swingers, another interesting name there, Snod and THC2. So I think, there's a couple of teams here. I saw DPS in Pool 1, I saw AOV in Pool 1. I know that MSNK has 2 teams as well, MRUs has 2 teams, THC, I know MAD as well. So,
MRU, just correction, only has 1 team. MRUs is a different clan.
Okay. We actually
they broke away. How I understand it. Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll actually clear that up, because we on our side still have it as 1. But if they have broken away, we'll correct that on the tables then as well. I think for me the interesting thing to see is that, and I think this is actually a direct reference to the previous table that we spoke about. We saw in the Rush tournament, Sons of Anarchy, sort of a little bit to the bottom of the table in Division 3. But here in their pool in T5, they were actually one of the teams that took their game for the week. Now, of course, you will see also in this table that MSNK Sultry Swingers have a 0 next to their game, and that's because of the uneven number. So as we did in Season 1, there will be in the tables that only have 9 teams, there will be a bye week. So there will always be one team that might be slightly off in terms of number of games played, but that will, of course, all be rectified when it comes to the end of the season.
Yeah, so whoever finishes last in that pool, don't worry, 1 week you won't lose.
Yeah.
Oh, 30 points.
Yeah, that's a bye week for you, right? Excellent. So again, a couple of interesting teams here. I actually in this pool I'm watching obviously I'm watching AOV, and then I'm also watching Sons of Anarchy. As I said, I played against them a couple of times, and they have some really, really good players. DPS Gold also for me one to watch there. Actually, most of these teams are, they're very good teams from what I know from a Conquest and 12v12 base. And I think
that's actually a very tough group.
It is a very tough group. I agree. Very tough. So Pool 3 then. Moving on to Pool 3, we have LGD Asset. So this is the other LGD team. We also have the other Lots team, which is the Lots with the S. We have the Mayhem of Mayhem and Destruction, which is one of the Mad T5 teams. We have the other MSNK team, which is the Banana Bays. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I think it's Bows, isn't it?
It's spelled
it's Bays.
It's spelled B-A-E-S. I think it's Bays.
It's it's like a slang term for babe.
Oh yes, of course.
It's cancerous. It's cancerous.
Then we have PPX, who is Phoenix. We have Snaz there. Of course, in this pool, we also have FLCN, which is Falcon, who has unfortunately withdrawn. So anybody playing them in this pool will also get that additional buy. We have Asane, Rekka, and then THC1, which is the THC first team for their T5. And Bokes, you guys are actually in this division, yeah? And I actually think it's also a pretty tough division, to be honest. Pretty tough pool.
Yeah, not really. No. That's my team. I play for this one, so
Yeah, so
easy.
they're going to land up at the bottom anyway.
No, it's going to be a difficult one as well.
Yeah.
But I think I'll call it between the Monkeys and LGD for this one.
Okay, and
but also I think a few upsets there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Falcon. Falcon's going to end last on this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I've called it. Well done, Mullis.
And then obviously we've got a couple of brand new teams in here as well. I mean, PPX is a brand new team. Snaz is a brand new team as well. So I'd like to see what these guys also do in the competition. I mean, I don't know them too well. I don't know the players too well. Although a lot of them come from other clans. I think as a unit, I haven't seen them play against other teams yet. And as the season progresses, obviously I'll get an opportunity to do so. But I'd really like to see how some of these new teams also perform against some of the other teams as well.
Well, the Snares guys, to be honest, is really going to struggle. I must say, Obian, Becky, and Nila, and those guys.
Yep.
Because you can't win in domination if you can't take a flag, because they're just on their stomachs the whole time. So can't. Yeah.
And you were giving some tips, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
All right. Then moving on to Pool 4. And here we have the Destruction and Mayhem. So actually we should have put Destruction in Pool 3 so we could do Destruction, Mayhem. Now we're doing Mayhem, Destruction. So this is the other part of MAD. We also have Lots there, the one with the Z, which is effectively the Lot second team. MRU, Red, WTF, 4Q is in here as well. GSE, ITF, SNLV, and then of course Snot's second T5 team also. So there's a couple of well-known names in this pool. I do think that this pool is very well matched. To be honest, there's not really a team in here that I would say are the clear winners. Obviously, Bokes, you will sort of feel differently about Destruction being here.
Yeah, Destruction, and I think MRU will also be a tough one there. Yeah, I must say.
But I think generally, if I look at all the pools, I mean, I know everybody has their favorites, and some people will call out some teams and other teams. I mean, I definitely don't half the time agree with Bokes on what he says, but but the reality is, I think most of these pools are pretty well matched, and thank you, Bokes, for that. I mean, I know when we did the matching of the pools, there was some good strategy that went into this in terms of placement and trying to match it up so that everybody has a good game in their pool, and we eventually get to those semis and finals with the strongest teams. So thanks for your hard work on getting these pools into a good space, so that we could start the comp.
Yeah, pleasure, man. I'm just waiting for the compensation to come kick in sometime.
Yeah. You got it, man.
Not gonna happen.
I get it.
No, you got it. You got all the grey hair. It's fine. He's got his payment.
So Bokes, good luck with that. Let me know how that turns out.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, that is the tables that we had for week 1, season 2 of Clan Wars. It is still very, very early days. Obviously, after week 1, it's virtually impossible to make up your mind or call out your favorites or anything like that. And of course, from next week, we will be back in our regular time slot on a Saturday morning at 9. I already had some messages this morning just after 9 saying that, are you guys not doing anything, this season? And, as tradition go, the first one is on a Saturday night at 9 because that seems like the only one Bokes can ever join. So, that is the first one, and that is what we had for you guys for tonight. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to sort of say their final words. I have to apologize on behalf of Scully. He's had some internet gremlins again on his side, so he's dropped off in the meantime. But I'm sure that he's quite happy with where we are with after week 1 for season 2.
Yeah, I just want to, you guys went through the yellow cards and the fixtures and logging of that. And
Well,
Yes.
we actually went through the yellow card system. The fixtures, Bugs, maybe you could just recap on that before we exit
no,
out.
I just want you to explain to the guys why the yellow card system, because I know a lot of guys are going to complain and say it's petty and stuff like that. But the guys must understand there's a lot of admin going into this to run it and to have shows like this and keep the logs updated and to see what games are next. It's not that difficult. You have a week. Just organize the game and fill in that form. That form is like 3 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slash, you want to add on this because I know you're a bit of a policeman when it comes to this also.
Yeah, as I said before, it's not something that we want to do. As Boke said, I mean it's simple and easy enough. So let's give it a second into second week and see how it goes.
Yep, absolutely. Right, guys, as a last word, Rips, let's start there with you.
Sorry, I'm just receiving Discord message sent enough because people aren't watching the stream. Yeah, from our side, it's going to be an interesting season up ahead, especially with plus minus 60 teams split between Premier and the T5. And for myself, I agree. The T5 is something season. It's a lot more interesting than Premier, I will admit. So yeah, from the Royal guys, we are excited. Can't wait to actually play against some of the top teams in SA.
Lekker, good. Folks?
Get your lube ready, guys.
Well, that is how you exit the room, right?
The guys was just have fun, guys. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I love the Rose channel and shit. So keep going.
At least you didn't say that when you came into the room, right? That would have been worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what's the worst part of the night? I must go and shower again now.
You're full of mud, are you?
Yeah.
He likes playing in the mud.
Yeah.
Slash.
Yeah, a really exciting start to the season. I just want to ask again. I did post it on Discord to the guys. Submit the results, please. Only scores. It's difficult enough to get the scores in. And also, when you do have a match in the new week against Falcon, which is withdrawn, please still submit your results. It's a sanity check as well on our side, so we don't forget to give you the points.
Yep. Absolutely.
And good luck. Have fun.
Great.
Perfect.
Guys, then from my side, I mean, obviously, as I think as everybody reiterated, this is a fun thing. Have fun. It's absolutely great to see so many teams compete. I mean, I love what we're busy doing, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and I hope that everybody else is as well. From my side, if you have joined us for tonight for the stream, thank you very much for joining. If you are subscribed, that's great. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the little bell to get your notifications. It also helps us in promoting the stream and what we're trying to do for the community. If you want to find some information and or look at the tables that we've looked at tonight, you can find that on www.bfclanwars.net. And you can also find, of course, all the rules there and any other information that you may need. Obviously, you are more than welcome to always contact us on the Discord channel. We are there most of the time, and most of the day it's taking up quite a bit of time responding to some of that stuff on a daily basis. But if you have a question, get on there, get on the Discord channel and chat to us there as well. From my side, I think that's all we had for this week, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Yakusao for Battle Bros. See you on the battlefield.